Your objective for lesson 28 is I will solve a variety of word problems involving area and perimeter using all 4 operations. And this is going to be our learning target for lesson 28 and lesson 29. It's just solving lots of word problems that involve area and perimeter. So we're using everything that we've learned about area and perimeter to solve a bunch of word problems. So this is going to involve a lot of the RDW process and showing all of your work since we're working with word problems. And actually we're going to start with the problem set today, so if you want to go ahead and have out your problem set so we can get started on that. Okay, number 1 says Gia measures her rectangular garden and finds the width is 9 yards and the length is 7 yards. Estimate to draw Gia's garden and label the side links. So we're going to, that will not pop up, I'm going to draw the rectangle and so are you. I'm going to have 7 yards on one side and 9 yards on the other. So that's all it's asking us to do for A, is to draw and label. Part B says what is the area of Gia's garden, and we're going to put our equation that we would have used, which is 7 times 9. If you don't know 7 times 9, I want you to push pause and figure that out right now, and push play whenever you're ready to check it. So we know that 7 times 9 is 63, so now we're going to write in a sentence saying the area of Gia's, if I can spell right, garden is 63 square yards. And now we are moving on to what is the perimeter of Gia's garden, where we're once again going to put our equation, and we know that we have to add up the side links to find the perimeter. So it's 7 plus 9 plus 7 plus 9. So I want you to go ahead and add that up to find the perimeter and then answer this in a complete sentence. And once you have that done, you may push play. So when you added 7 plus 9 and 7 plus 9, you get 32. So the sentence I was looking for is the perimeter of Gia's garden is 32 yards. So the first one was pretty easy. Now we're going to move on to number 2. And this one is the exact same thing, but now we're working with a square. So you're going to draw a square on your paper. And it says that it has side lengths of 8 centimeters. So if we label one side 8 centimeters, then we don't have to label all of the other sides because we know that all of the other sides would also be 8 centimeters. So you're going to do for B and C just like what you did for number 1. So for this one, I'm going to let you do it on your own. Make sure you put your equation whenever you're finding the area, and make sure you're putting the perimeter whenever you're finding the perimeter. Make sure you also have that equation, and then answer both of those in a complete sentence. So once you have B and C completed, I want you to push play so you can check your answer. Okay, so to find the area of Elijah's square, you had to do 8 times 8, which is 64. So the area of Elijah's square is 64 square centimeters. To find the perimeter, you had to add up all of the side lengths, and since each side is 8 centimeters, you had to do 8 plus 8 plus 8 plus 8, which equals 32. And so that tells us that the perimeter of Elijah's square is 32 centimeters. Now we're ready to move on to the back, and this is part D. So this actually is going to go with the problem that we just did for Elijah's square. So the question says Elijah connects 3 of these squares to make one long rectangle. So what is the perimeter of this rectangle? So what we're going to do right now is we're going to draw 3 different squares together that would make a long rectangle, and they're going to have the side lengths of the one that Elijah had on number 2, and we knew that one of the side lengths was 8 centimeters. So that you should have 3 squares just like this connected on your paper. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put that this side was 8, so meaning every other side that we count on this long rectangle now is also going to be 8. So what I want you to go ahead and do is I want you to label each side 8. Now remember, we're not going to go in here and we're not going to label the ones on the inside, because when we're working with perimeter, we do not label anything on the inside. Perimeter is around the shape. So we're going to label each one 8. so we know what all we need to add together here to find the perimeter of this longer rectangle. And let's count how many sides there are. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And if you go back and look over here, to find the area, we had to do 8 times 8. And if we have 8 eighths, that is the same thing as saying 8 times 8. So we're going to put 8 times 8. And since we already know that that answer is 64, we're going to go ahead and put 64. And we're going to answer this in a complete sentence by saying the perimeter of this rectangle is 64 centimeters. So now this rectangle has the same area, or I'm sorry, this rectangle has the same perimeter as one of the areas for just one of those squares. Okay, now we're ready to move on to number 3. It says the area of Mason's rectangular painting is 72 square inches. The width of the painting is 8 inches. Estimate to draw Mason's painting and label the side lengths. So we've got a rectangular painting. We know that the area is going to be 72 square inches. So in the middle, I want you to write 72 square inches. So we know that that's the area of this. And we know that the width of the painting is 8 inches. So I'm just going to put that right here. But we do not know what the length of this painting is, how long this painting is going to be. So B says, what is the length of the painting? And if you remember back when we were working with area, if we were given the area of a rectangle and we were giving one side length, then we had to divide those two numbers to figure out what the missing side length was, because that's the same thing as saying and asking yourself 8 times what is going to give you 72. So for B here, we're going to put 72 divided by 8 is equal to question mark. And then what I want you to do right now is I want you to figure out what is 72 divided by 8. And once you have that answer and you have answered this question in a complete sentence, you may push play. So I know that 72 divided by 8 is 9. So the length of the painting is 9 inches. Part C says, what is the perimeter of Mason's painting? So now we know that the other side length is 9. We know that the two side lengths that we're working with are 8 inches and 9 inches. So we're going to put our equation of 8 plus 9 plus 8 plus 9. And I want you to add those four numbers together to find the perimeter of his painting and then answer this question in a complete sentence. And once you have that done, you may push play. So when you add 8 plus 9 plus 8 plus 9, you get 35. So that tells me that the perimeter of Mason's painting is 35 inches. Part D says Mason's mom hangs the painting on a wall that already has 2 of Mason's other paintings. The area of the other paintings are 64 square inches and 81 square inches. So what is the total area of the wall that is covered with Mason's paintings? So far we've got 3 different paintings that we're going to be looking at. So I want you to make 3 different rectangles on your paper to show his 3 paintings. We know that one of the other paintings on the wall, the area is equal to 64 square inches. So we're going to put that on one of the paintings. And now you're going to go to the other one, and that area is equal to 81 square inches. And then we just found out the area of this painting that his mom is going to hang on the wall, and we know according to A up here that the area is 72 square inches. So we're going to put that here on this one as well. So now we've got our picture to show all of the paintings and what the area of each painting is. So it says, what is the total area of the wall that is covered with Mason's paintings? So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to add all 3 of these areas together to find the total amount of area that he has with all 3 paintings. So I want you to add all 3 areas together to find the total area, and then I want you to answer this question in a complete sentence, and whenever you're ready to check it, you may push play. So when you add those three areas together, you get 217. So the area of the wall that is covered with Mason's painting is 217 square inches. Okay, now we're ready to move on to the fourth page of the problem set. Not the fourth page, the third page of the problem set. Number 4 says the perimeter of Jillian's rectangular bedroom is 34 feet. The length of her bedroom is 9 feet, so we have to estimate to draw Jillian's bedroom and label the side lengths. So we've got rectangular bedroom. We know that the perimeter, I'm going to put it on the inside here, you need to do this as well, is 34 feet. We know that one side length is going to be 9 feet, but we do not know what the other side length is going to be. So we know that in order to find the missing side length for this rectangle, that we're going to have to add the other side lengths together to help us. So we're going to have to do 9 plus 9. We know that 9 plus 9 is 18, and we're going to put feet with that. So if the total perimeter is 34, we're going to have to take away 18 from that. So 34 minus 18, solve that, and then we're going to have to divide it by 2, and that will give us what the missing side length is for this rectangle. So whenever you have that, I want you to push play. So when you do 34 minus 18, you're left with 16, and then when you do 16 divided by 2, because there's 2 side lengths that we're missing, that gives us 8. So that tells us that the width of Jillian's bedroom is 8 feet, and what I'm going to do and what I want you to also do on your paper is to label that side length that we're missing on your paper and put 8 feet. And now we're ready to move on to part C. It says, what is the area of Jillian's bedroom? So now that we know both side lengths, we're going to use the equation 8 times 9, and then whatever that is equal to, that's going to be the area of Jillian's bedroom. So I want you to go ahead and solve 8 times 9 to find the area, and then answer that question in a complete sentence. So when you do 8 times 9, you get 72. So the area of Jillian's bedroom is 72 square feet, and that is what your complete sentence should look like. And now we're ready to move on to D. It says, Jillian has a 4-foot by 6-foot rug in her room. What is the area of the floor that is not covered by the rug? So we're going to draw a picture here. Here's her room, which we know already is 72 square feet. And then here's the rug that she has in her room. So we're going to label this part of the square 72 square feet. And then we're going to label the rug, and if the rug is 4 foot by 6 foot, that's the same thing as 4 times 6, so we know that that area is 24 square feet. So in order to find the area of the floor that is not covered by the rug, we're going to have to subtract 24 from 72, and that will leave us the rest of the room that does not have a rug on it, or the rug on the floor. So whenever you do 72 minus 24, you're going to be left with your answer. So I want you to solve that and then answer this question in a complete sentence, and whenever you have that ready to go, you may push play. So when you do 72 minus 24, you're left with 48. So the sentence should have said the area of the floor that is not covered by the rug is 48 square feet. Now you're ready for the exit ticket, which is going to be kind of just like what we did in the problem set. You've got a question or a problem, and you've got 3 different parts that you have to solve with it. So make sure you answer all parts of the exit ticket, and whenever you have that done, you can bring it to me so I can check it.